everyone is doing well. Our focus for class today will be yoga with the use of the props, and how might you use those to deepen your practice or to build strength within the body. I want to open class with some little words of wisdom from Yoga 365, which is daily wisdom for life on and off the mat. Now, a couple of my students already have this book and are really enjoying it, and I thought, well, why should I miss out? So I took a chance and ordered the book for myself, and by the way, I love it as well. So for today, I want to share this message: all is okay in this moment, and this moment, and this moment. Affirm your life in every minute. Be mindful of the past and open to the future. But when the past feels undermining or the future overwhelming, choose to be fully in the present. When we spend too much time agonizing about past mistakes, we lose track of what is happening right before us. When we are overly anxious about what is to come, we lose the joy of living our daily lives. Try this. Ask yourself, is this particular moment okay? Then affirm, yes, this moment is okay. And now this moment is also okay. And now this one. When you feel yourself losing your connection to the moment, ask yourself this question and then answer it again and again. So a perfect little reading for times like we're going through now. Set that off to the side, set my glasses off to the side. Pretty much for today's class, the only thing you'll need is 2 blocks and possibly a belt. I think we always need to add in opening of the hamstrings, the inner and outer thighs with the big toe poses, so I'll just place that off to the side. I'm going to sit in Virasana, hero's pose, and I'm sitting on 1 block. You can elevate higher if you'd like. I'd like to show that for just a moment. So this is the lower level, right between the ankle bones. You can turn it up to the middle height. And then you could also even stack 2 blocks on top of each other for more height, just in case you needed it for possibly tightness within the knees. Now I want to show another option, which is Sukhasana, easy cross-legged position. And here in this particular position, I could place the blocks underneath my thigh bones just to add a little extra support versus leaving knees just hanging out in space. And this even here, middle height tucked underneath the knees, is just a lovely option as well. So I'm going to go back to Virasana. On the lowest level, you choose one that's suitable for you this morning. And then I invite you to close your eyes or allow your gaze to drop downward towards the floor. And then let the weight of the bones begin to drop, to become heavy, as if rooted down into Mother Earth. And then from that grounded feeling, lift up. So as much as you're rooting down into the earth, you're lifting upward towards the heavens. So lift the bottom of the belly to support the lift of the spine. Lift your breastbone, broaden across your collarbones, and then gently release shoulder blades down. And then repeat to yourself this mantra: in this moment, all is okay. And let's let that be our intention for our practice today. In this moment, I am okay. In this moment, all is okay. So take a few rounds of breath, breathing that mantra into the body. Envision it moving into the cellular level. In this moment, I am okay. In this moment, all is okay. Now lift palms together in front of your heart center. Allow the head to bow as you exhale. Release your hands down. Gently open your eyes and lift your gaze. So let's begin with the 4 openers that we normally open with. As you inhale, take your arms up and overhead. Interlace your fingers. Spin your palms upward to the ceiling. Root the sitting bones down. Shoulder blades rise. Inner elbows hug in. Knuckle mounds lift. Head bows towards the chin. One more breath. And separate your arms out to the sides and down. Slowly lift your gaze. Gently rotate to your left as you exhale. Lift your breastplate broad across your collarbones. Pin the shoulder blades to the upper back ribs. And then as you exhale, rotate back to center. Twist gently to your right. So inhale, lift, create a little more rotation as you exhale. Lift your breastbone, spread across the collarbones. And then return to center as you exhale. Bring your legs forward in staff pose, Dandasana. So I'm going to use my hands to blankets behind me to press down to support the lift of the body. Flex your toes in. Push out through the heels. Contract your quadriceps to the bone. Press your thigh bones down. Let's repeat 8 more. You know, last week we talked about the lifting of the kneecaps and thighs and how important that is. In this particular pose, you can actually see it happening. And then bring the soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana. So press the heels to each other. Contract the back of the legs to each other. Lift through a tall spine. Lengthen inner groins to knees, knees outward. Outer thighs towards the floor. So the legs are in external rotation here. And then you can press the outer edges of the feet together to spin the feet open like a book. And then close the feet. Support the outer legs. Draw them up. Extend the legs out to straight. Okay, so let's recline down onto the back. I'll set my blocks off to the side. And set my little book off to the side. All right. So, have my belt handy. Okay. So we begin with single knees to chest. So, with an inhalation, sweep your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, extend through the 4 points of your feet and through your fingertips as you scoop the buttock flesh towards the heels. Inhale. And as you exhale, float your right knee to your chest. Inhale, sweep the arm overhead. Exhale, left knee to chest. Inhale, arms overhead, leg out. Exhale, right knee to chest. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, left knee to chest. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, right leg in. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, left leg in. Inhale, arms overhead, full body stretch. Exhale, push through the 4 points of your feet. And then exhale, draw both knees into the chest. Let's take the left hand to the outside of the right knee and the right arm off to the side and in line with the shoulder. Activate through your feet. Hug your inner legs towards each other. And as you exhale, gently twist to your left. Keep the shoulder blade on the floor. Notice I'm not going very far to begin with. Come back to center, switch hands. As you exhale, twist to your right. Inhale, come back to center. Let's repeat that 2 more times. Exhaling, gently twist to your left. Try not to allow your knees to shear apart. And then inhale to center, exhale, twist to your right. And center 1 more time to the left. Exhale, gently twist to the left. Maybe you find that each time you go a little deeper. And center, let the feet come to the floor. Find your belt. I have a small loop in mine. It's not necessary, but you can go ahead and place the belt loop around the heel now. Now I'm going to loosen mine just a little bit so that I can hold the belt with both hands. So if you have tighter hamstrings today, then by all means keep your left knee bent while the right leg is up. But if you can, extend that left leg out. Keep both legs active by pushing the feet away from the pelvis. Contract the quadriceps. Push your left one down, right one forward. And then lift the bottom of the belly. And let's hold for several breaths. Now I'm going to bring my left leg in the belt to meet the right. And I want to hold here for several breaths. Again, pushing the feet away from the pelvis, contracting the quadriceps and pushing the thigh bones in and forward. No. Pushing them forward, but I'm trying to keep the outer thigh bone moving towards the end of the mat. Sorry about that instruction. Okay, now let's keep the left foot in the belt. Bring the right knee either to bent or slide it out to straight. Push the feet away from the pelvis. Contract your quadriceps. Press your right one down, in and down, and the left one pushes forward. Not only forward, but the outer hip crease moves away from the head. So we're trying to keep equal length on both sides of the waistline. Now let's bring that right leg back into the belt. Hold both legs here for just a moment. Now, let's keep the belt in your right foot. Left foot can come to the floor, left foot it can extend out to straight. And I'm going to hook my hand inside the belt. Now, if you can't do that, that's okay. Hold it here. Okay? For Parivrtta, Supta Padangusthasana. And so now I'm going to align the right big toe with the left shoulder. Inhale. And as you exhale, move right foot in line with left shoulder. Use your right hand into your hip crease. Roll the hip crease away. And then push feet away from the pelvis. Contract your quadriceps. Keep your left one rolling in and down, and the right one moving away from the head. And of course, the bottom of the belly is always lifted. And then bring that leg back to center. Bring the left one up to meet it.
keep the left one in the belt, slide the right one out. Either hold the belt like this, or you can slip your hand inside. Push your feet away from the pelvis, contract your quads. Lift your belly, and on your exhale, move your left foot in line with right shoulder. Say hello to your hip or your outer thigh, your IT band, the tensor fasciae lata. So again, feet push away from the pelvis, quadriceps are engaged, right thigh bone is rolling in and down, left thigh bone is rolling away from the head. And then bring that leg to center. Let's bring both legs back into that belt. Push the feet up into the belt. Couple of breaths here. My belt keeps getting twisted, so I had to buckle on skin. So now I'm going to bring the right foot back, left foot down, left foot to the mat or extend it out. Left arm goes off to the side. Take a breath, and as you exhale, take your leg to the right. Parshva Supta Parangustasana. Push the feet away from the pelvis. Ground your left thigh bone in and down. Lift the bottom of your belly and smile. And breathe. With the strong exhalation, bring that leg up to center. Bring the left foot back in. Hold for a couple of breaths. And then keep the left foot in the belt. Release the right foot either to the mat or out to straight. Now I've got to slide my body over a little bit. I'm going to be hitting the wall. And with the exhale, take the leg to your left. Right arm is off to the side for balance if you need it. Push your feet away from your pelvis. Ground your right thigh bone into the floor as you lift the bottom of the belly. Smile and breathe. And then again with a strong exhale, bring that leg back up to center. And so we balance things out, bring that right foot back into the belt. And then bend knees, release the belt from your feet, set it off to the side. Now I want to roll up for just a moment and get my block. Okay. So now, might need to take a sweater off, get a little warm. So now I want to take a twist, but with the block between my knees. So I have the short end of the block facing towards me. I want to keep my feet active and arms out to a T formation. So I'm going to be trying to hug my knees toward my left inner elbow, and then we'll repeat it to the right. So take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, hug the knees in, and gently touch down, touch the inner left elbow. The block is keeping our knees from splaying apart. And then come back to center. And exhale over to your right. Touch the right inner elbow. And back up. And let's do that 2 more times. Over to your left. Back to center. Over to your right. Back to center. Exhaling to the left, inhaling up, exhaling right, inhaling up. And then let's let the feet come down to the floor. Let's place the block on the belly for a moment. Extend the legs out to straight and hold the block with your palms best you can. Okay, so we're going to start. Now the block is at the top of my thighs. Engage through your feet, press your thigh bones down, strongly lift the bottom of the belly. And as you inhale, sweep your block up and overhead. And take an exhale here. Inhale, bring the block up and down. Take an exhale. Inhale, block up. Exhale once you get the block overhead. Inhale, lift the block up. Take an exhale when the block is down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale while the block is over. Inhale, lift up. Exhale while the block is down. Okay, so let's do 3 more. Okay, so now let's add a little bit to it. Okay, so we're going to take the block straight up and then bring the legs up, get the block. Okay, so then the arms go overhead as the block comes down. Arms and block come together, legs come down, arms go overhead. Lift, block between the feet, lower, lift, lower, lift, whoop, about drop my block. Legs, arms come together, get the block, arms and legs overhead. Last time. Now float the arms down, let your block go. Bend your knees, and then slowly roll over. So you could do more of those over time, but maybe 5 or 6 is enough for today. Okay, so now when I come so that I have my blocks on the middle height and into Marjarasana, cat pose. So knees underneath the pelvis, hands on the blocks, inner elbows face each other. On your exhale, begin to arch your spine upward towards the ceiling. Notice where you feel the main part of the rounding. And then as you inhale, lift and lengthen the heart center away. And then exhale, round. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhale, round. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Now let's turn the blocks down onto its lower level, but come down onto the forearms. Okay? Now, as you exhale, lift. Notice the rounding may be in a different space. And as you inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, lift. As you inhale, lengthen. One more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lengthen. Now, I want us to take a little bit of a child's pose. You can do wider legs if you need to. We're going to slide our blocks forward. And then be up onto the fingertips. And take a breath. And as you exhale, begin to descend the heart and head down. We'll take 3 breaths here. And then as you inhale, lift your head. Turn your blocks up 1. Back onto the fingertips again. Take a deep breath. Exhale, descend, heart. Feel the shoulders begin to open. 3 breaths. And now let's turn the blocks up 1 more.
beyond the fingertips. Again, take a deep breath, exhale, descend the heart. And then walk your blocks back into you just a little bit. And this one you just kind of have to play with some. So we're going to put the elbows. I'm going to scoot a little closer. Put the elbows on the block. And then take a breath. And as you exhale, begin to descend the heart towards the mat, feeling the shoulder blades, not shoulder blades, armpit, chest begin to open a bit more. Bringing the triceps into the play when I draw the hands between the shoulder blades. And take 2 more breaths. And up we come. Nice shoulder openers there. So let's look at downward facing dog on the blocks, using the blocks. So block is like going to be on the middle height so that I can take the beveled edge of my block and put the heel of my hand towards, and then 3 fingers on the block, and I can wrap pinky and thumb to the block. Okay. Now I do like the cork blocks better for this than I do the foam blocks. Okay, so let's take a deep breath. And as you exhale, lift your hips up and back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. So push your hands down into your blocks and then lengthen the spine away from the blocks. Okay, engage your kneecaps and thighs. Spin your thigh bones in and back. Lift the sitting bones up. Now this was where I was talking about earlier, at least I think I did, of where this makes it easier to step forward from downward facing dog into the lunges. So inhale, look forward. As you exhale, bring your shoulders over your wrists. Plant your right foot between the blocks and drop your back knee down. Let the top of the back foot come towards the floor. You might even need to slide your blocks back underneath the shoulders. Okay? So press the back foot down. Press your front foot down. And then spin the inner left hip towards your inner right knee. Just helps to balance the pelvis a little bit. And then lift the bottom of the belly, lift your chest. And now tuck the back toes under. And as you exhale, step back, downward facing dog. And inhale, look forward. Exhale, step left foot forward, right knee down. And slide the blocks back up underneath the shoulders. Press the back foot down. Press your front foot down. Spin inner right hip towards inner left knee. Lift your belly. And then tuck toes under. Step back dog pose. And then inhale, look forward. Step your right foot forward. High lunge. Okay. So move your back heel away from your front heel. Try to keep the pelvis level. Lift the belly. Shoulder blades are down the back. Gaze is forward. And then exhale back. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, left foot forward. Move your right foot away from left heel. Keep the pelvis balanced. Don't let it drop too far. Don't let it lift too high. Neutral position. Lift the belly. Keep the shoulder blades down the back and the collarbones broad. And then exhale back. Downward facing dog. And then drop the knees to the floor. We're going to turn the right block down onto its side and the left block up to a taller height. And that's just for a little bit of balance. So now we're going to place the right foot onto the block. Now I need to wiggle my left foot back a little bit. So I'm going to tuck my toes under and wedge the knee back a little
So I can deepen the opening on the left front hip, okay? So if you don't need the block for your left hand, you can bring both hands up on to the front knee, push the back foot down, push the front foot down, push your hands into your knee or thigh, lift your belly, lift your chest, gaze up. And then you can bring hand back down to the block and step your right foot off. Let's switch sides. I'll turn the right block up, turn the left block down, and then step that left foot up onto the block. I'm going to wedge my right knee back. So now press the back foot down, press the front foot down. If you don't need the block, bring both hands to the front thigh. Lift the bottom of the belly up, lift the chest up, shoulder blades down the back. Gaze can go up if it doesn't challenge the balance. And then bring hand back down to the block. Step off with your left foot. So now, downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Now we're going to shift forward into Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Okay? So as you inhale, look forward. Bring your shoulders over your wrists. You can roll your toes. Push down into the blocks to lift the chest. Or you can tuck one at a time. Rock back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward. Urdhva Mukha. Now really push down into the back of your feet, tops of your feet. Keep your thighs engaged, lift your belly, push your hands into the blocks to lift up and out of pose. No slumpasana. Exhale back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. One more time. Inhale, come forward. Urdhva Mukha. Exhale. Ardha Mukha. Woohoo! Inhale, look forward, walk forward. Come to standing Tadasana and feel. So now I'm going to keep one block on the right and on the back side of your sticky mat. But from Tadasana, mountain pose, we'll use the block to build a little more strength in the upper body. So you can stand with your feet 6 bones distance apart. You can stand with heels, toe mounts together. Heels might be a little bit apart. Now, again, we did this earlier reclined. Not an easy task working against gravity here. So press your palms together. If you need to cheat a little bit, you can hook your pinky and your thumb tip there to help support you. But inhale, bring the block up and overhead. And as you exhale, can you lift and extend the block even a little higher overhead? Inhale and exhale, lower down. Let's do 2 more times. Inhale as you take the block up and overhead. As you exhale, lift a little bit more. Keep the legs active, bottom of the belly active. And lower down, slow and controlled. And we have one more. And we'll be using it a little later on in a couple of more poses. So as you inhale, take your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, lift a little more. Press the palms into the block. And lower down. Now know that if you're practicing this at home, you could use a softer block, one of the little blue ones that like we have here at the studio. So the next pose is Trikonasana. I want to keep one block in hand when I do it. I'll be going to my left, but it will be your right. So on your inhalation, bend your knees. And as you exhale, step your feet nice and wide apart. So the stance should be about the length of one of your legs. Now, turn your left foot in 15 or 20 degrees and your right leg out 90. And then bring your arms up. Oh, it's not an easy task to hold that block up. So press your feet down, firm your thighs, lift your belly, lift your chest. As you exhale, extend out and over the front leg. Let your left hand find your block. Take your right block upward to the ceiling. Now, I'm not just lifting it, I'm actually stretching through my skin to lift, and bones to lift that block upward. Okay, so now, reconnecting with your feet, reground, relift your kneecaps and thighs, relift your belly, keep both sides of the waist side long, and then spin your top ribs back, bottom ribs forward. Gaze can be down, gaze can be forward, gaze can go up as long as it doesn't strain the neck. Okay. Now press your feet into the floor, bend your front knee. I'm going to bring my other block with me. Spin your feet. So now your right foot turns in, your left leg turns out. As I exhale, I want to extend out and over, plant the right block. Take the right hand up. Now, again, let's connect back in with our feet. Ground your 4 points. Contract your quadriceps. Lift the bottom of the belly. Push down into your left hand as you lift up with your right hand. Now, spin the top ribs back, bottom ribs forward. And then bend the front knee a little bit. Inhale, up you come. Turn your feet forward. Step it together and feel. So warrior 2 is next. We're not going to take the typical position for our arms that we normally take. We want to use the block, taking the arms up and overhead. So step your feet nice and wide apart again. Turn your left foot in, right leg out. And then bring your block forward for now. Okay? So press your feet down. Firm your thighs, lift your belly, lift your chest, relax your shoulder blades. Exhale, bend your front knee towards a 90-degree angle. Okay? And then extend the block forward. Some of you may need to stay here. Now, one of the things you want to focus on is keeping the only toe that you should be able to see is your big toe. Okay, so push into your back heel. Inhale, take your arms up and overhead. Lift that block up. So keep the bottom of the belly lifted. One more breath. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Lower the block. Give your arms a rest. Turn your right foot in. Left leg out. Press your feet down. Firm your thighs. Lift your belly. Lift your chest. Shoulder blades down the back. Exhale, bend the front knee. Again, make sure the only toe you see is your big toe. Block forward. Inhale, take the arms up and overhead. Lift the block. Extend through both sides of your waistline. Are you breathing? Or are you holding your breath? Inhale, turn your feet forward. Step the feet together. So if you're in Virasana 1, and we'll start with your right, my left. So I'll be going to one side of the mat one way and then turn and face the other side. Okay, so I want to start with my right leg back. Okay, so step your right leg forward. My right leg will be back because I'll be mirroring you. Okay, we'll start with the legs like scissors. Okay, all right, now push into your back heel. Push down your front big toe mound, inner heel mound. Firm your thighs, lift your belly. Exhale, bend your front knee. Now, look down again. You should only see your big toe. Push your block forward. Now you can stay here. If it's too much to take the blocks up and overhead. So those with high blood pressure, block doesn't go overhead. Inhale, take the arms up. Push into that back heel as you lift the block upward to the ceiling. Straighten the front leg. Pivot. Right foot turns in, left leg turns out. You might need to widen your stance by taking that right leg off to the side. And then press into the back heel. Push the big toe mound of the front foot down, inner heel mound down. Firm your thighs. Exhale, bend your front knee. Lift the block up, 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 up. straighten the leg, turn your feet forward, step it together. So one more standing pose, Utkatasana, and then we'll start winding it down. So I want to use both blocks. Okay, so I'm going to put the short end of the block, it's just above, it's just above the knee joint. Okay, so ground the 4 points of your feet. Block is not going to go overhead for this one, it's just going to go forward. Okay, so imagine you're going to sit down on a chair, but it's not there. And you don't have to go very deep either, okay? So take a deep breath, and as you exhale, sink your hips back as if you're going to sit in a chair. You have to squeeze your inner thighs to the block just a little bit. Bring the arms forward. Press your palms into the block. And then see if you can rise up onto your toes. Squeeze your block. And then float your heels down. Inhale the block up and overhead. Ooh, and lower the block down. Take the block out. Okay, so let's make our way back down onto the mat. And let's look at bridge pose with the block between the knees. So I'll place the block between my knees and give it a tug. Like squeeze the inner thighs to the block. Okay. I'm going to work with arms bent at the elbows today, fingertips pointing upward. Take a deep breath, exhale it out. Now with your next inhalation, press your feet down, press the back of your arms down, lift your hips up. One more breath. Exhale, lower down. Okay, now press the feet and arms down. Inhale, lift up. And lower down. One more. Inhale, lift up. And lower down. Ah, what a nice practice. Okay, so now, so maybe you don't have a bolster at home, but we can make shift for Stonehenge with our blocks and a blanket. Ta-da! So that when I put my calves up on here, the calf tissue will be supported underneath the blanket. And then, typically I use a bolster, but you may not have a bolster at home, and this works pretty well. So I'm going to put the back of my calf tissue on the blocks, and then support my head. I got blanket lint in my face. Support my head with a blanket. And let your arms be down by your sides. Allow the calf tissue to be heavy and spreading on the block. And then encourage the body to soften down. So please stay for a few more rounds of breath.
So know that you can stay for 5, 10, even 20 minutes in for Shavasana, but for purposes of the video, you could bend knees, very carefully roll to your right, and take a comfortable seated posture. I hope you found the video very beneficial to you, and also if there's something that you would like to see being taught in a video, please let me know. And I'll try to plan a sequence to help to meet your body's needs. Standing poses, twists, back bends, mild inversions, those types of practices. So just for a moment, close your eyes and say to the self, in this moment, I am okay. And then please join palms together in front of your heart center. With your exhalation, bow wisdom of the mind towards the wisdom of the heart. And as we move forth in our world, may we always remember to move from the heart center. Namaste. Have a good day.